All right, welcome to the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 18. We are back. Just myself and Bryan, no guests. We're here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Hold on. Before we start, I need to get comfortable. Where's my little prop?
I don't like when people start reaching for something. You don't even know what they're reaching for. How you gonna lean over reaching for something at the beginning of the show?
Boom! Fresh off ESGN record store. I told you, man. I gotta make up for last week. We powered through the whole Howard Beck episode. You know what I mean? We couldn't get a mention. Keep the trend going.
A mention of what?
That's a mulligan.
A mention of what?
Why you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
For those of you listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the TuneIn podcast right now, I just pulled out an ESGN hat from my bag, and Dexter damn near sobbed.
I wasn't sobbing. I was thinking about the amount of people that are pressing pause and not going to play the podcast again after they heard that.
I just had to get comfortable. You know
or wondering what an ESGN hat is or why you don't have an ESPN
ESGN
hat.
Is the record label of one Frederick Gibbs.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's his full name, but yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's a good looking hat.
It's all right.
Hater.
What's up, man?
But, you know, things are good. We had a very interesting last 7 days or so.
Tiring last 7 days. But
we had Howard Beck here. We did Sideline Story Short with Spencer Dinwiddie, who right before we started this just got announced that he's going to be in the Taco Bell Skills Challenge at All-Star Weekend. So we're incredibly happy for him.
Yeah, we're happy for him. Spencer Dinwiddie, friend of Backpack Broadcasting Content.
Yes.
Has been on this podcast. As Bryan alluded to, there was a Sideline Stories short out right now that we produced. I did the reporting on it. Bryan was a part of it as a beat writer, and Spencer Dinwiddie also in it. It's called The Rise of Spencer Dinwiddie. Check that out. Backpack Broadcasting on YouTube. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and then this past week there was also, you know, the Grammys and the Royal Rumble. We watched the Royal Rumble, Matt and I.
There you go. Two things I could care less about.
And you didn't watch the Grammys?
No, did not watch the Grammys.
I could have sworn you saw. Oh no, you saw Kendrick's performance, right?
I watched that. Somebody sent it to me on Twitter. I did watch that. I did not care about the Grammys. I did not tune in. I was working on the Sideline Story Short to make sure that it was as great as it was, so everybody could watch it like they should.
I usually don't care for the Grammys, so I don't want to get.
So
into that.
I did not watch that.
Leave Alessia Cara alone. That's all I'm going to leave. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm going to. The Grammys.
Alessia Cara won Best New Artist, and people are mad because SZA didn't win it. And yeah, just leave her alone.
If you're mad about the Grammys, and I don't know what to tell you. It's I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I actually, you know how much I don't really care for wrestling. I might have to go and watch the Royal Rumble over the Grammys.
Yo, it was entertaining. Like I'm not even trying to lie to you would find some stuff entertaining about it.
I might doubt a little bit, but you know.
And it's a very unique concept, but we don't need to get into that. We have a podcast to do. That
yes,
I know you don't want.
Not a wrestling.
I know
podcast.
You don't want me to talk about the Royal Rumble for the first segment, even though I could because
I don't talk about it at all.
It was amazing. Me and Matt could do that podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can go do the WWE Royal Rumble, Ric Flair loving.
We'll do the extra
podcast.
we
could do the extra.
It ain't hard to tell extra.
Yeah. Hater.
Yeah. So Bryan, I'm not a hater. I just don't care. If I don't like it, I don't like it. That doesn't mean that I'm hating. Word to the great common sense.
All right. We'll leave it at that.
Anyways, as we said, a lot of great stuff going on in Backpack Broadcasting Content. Please check that out. We still have the contest. We are running a $50 Amazon gift card. If you want to get that, you can check out the details. We'll have an ad running later in the podcast about that. Yep. Really easy to join. Just need people to subscribe, follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
That gives you an entry, so you can do that.
And we might have another contest after that.
That might be coming up soon.
You follow, you'll find out.
Also, check us out. There'll be more stuff on this coming weeks. We're on Patreon now, so people who want to support Backpack Broadcasting can do that. I'll have more information on that coming soon via video. Enough of that. NBA got real interesting. Trade deadline is next week, February 8th.
Yeah. A week from today.
We're recording this on the 1st. We are doing our best to get a guest for post the trade deadline. So we're hoping that comes your way next week, where we have somebody to talk about the NBA trade deadline. I think it'll be another good guest. But the trade deadline came real early and real quick and caught me off guard, where I was like, oh, Blake Griffin.
Apparently he got caught off guard, too.
He got caught off guard, too. Who saw this coming? Because I did not see this coming. Blake Griffin is traded to the Pistons.
Yeah.
Right? And, I mean, the first thing I thought about was like, damn, how do you feel going from L.A. to Detroit? like,
sorry, Jamel Hill.
Yeah, no disrespect to Detroit. I know it's so cold in the D. I know all you people out there.
Pause.
Matt's looking at me like, what is that? Do you know the song? It's so cold in the D. Have you ever seen that?
Nah, I don't.
All right, we don't have to play that.
Pause though. Pause.
We're gonna have to play that for you. So he goes there and he's traded for Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, a couple picks.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, it's a very interesting trade to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give the Clippers some credit here, okay? Before we get to the how Blake found out, but I want to give the Clippers some credit here, because I think it's one thing with an organization, they signed somebody like Blake to a long-term deal, which after Chris Paul left, I kind of was like, what are they gonna do? They got to sign Blake. Mm-hmm. But I was like, that team ain't going nowhere for a long time with Blake and DeAndre Jordan. And the best asset that they had to trade was definitely Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
No doubt. And the management said, because, Jerry West is coming, he told him, he's like, look, this is not going to work. They traded Blake Griffin. I'm stunned, but I actually think it was the right thing to do. And they found a team who was desperate enough in a market that could not get a star, that had some recent poor draft picks. Look at the Pistons' recent draft picks. Yeah. Not good.
Yeah.
Stanley Johnson, guys whose names I can't even remember.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope, he was okay.
Yeah.
And he went for the Lakers, so they lost him, not able to retain him. I'm really trying to think tell me another Detroit Pistons draft pick that was really good.
I can't even remember. This is pretty bad.
It hasn't been that good. Stanley Johnson's a good defensive player, but he's not good offensively. They don't know what they can do with him. Like, they didn't have a star there in Detroit, and now they do have a star. And I don't know for a lot of people who listen to this podcast, but because I'm an NBA junkie, as everybody knows,
mm-hmm.
I watch all these games. So there's been a couple times I've looked at games in Detroit, and one of the things that's been apparent to me is I watch the camera go back on the wide camera back and forth, and I'm listening to the crowd and the volume, and I'm like, I sound like nobody's there. Because nobody's there. When they go to somebody shooting at the free throw line, you'll see the upper bowl, and nobody's there. This is a new arena in downtown Detroit, and fans aren't coming.
Yeah.
Now, I know at the time of recording this podcast, Blake Griffin is playing his first game in Detroit. I believe they're home. I would like to see if this is going to bring fans out, because Detroit actually got off to a good start this year. They don't really have a bona fide star player, but now they do. Will this bring fans out? Do I think did Detroit give up a lot? Yeah, they did. But were they ever going to get a star like free agent? Who's going to? No disrespect again. But who's going to Detroit?
But also, Avery Bradley was an expiring contract.
Yep.
And Tobias Harris, I think, is a free agent next year after 2018-19 season. So to your earlier point, Luke Kennard, Henry Ellenson.
Damn.
I know this dude from Syracuse, but I can't pronounce the last name. Second round pick anyway. Stanley Johnson. Actually, their best draft pick in the last 4 years or so has been Spencer Dinwiddie, and he wasn't good until he left.
Well, that also hurts too. But they let him go. They cut him. It hurts when you look and you say you cut a guy who was a borderline all-star. Spencer Dinwiddie. Hey, they dealt him for nothing.
Yeah.
And then he burned him with a game-winning shot just a couple weeks ago.
Caldwell-Pope.
Take that.
The last really good, other than him, player they got, Andre Drummond, Chris Middleton in the same draft. Chris Middleton, didn't become a great player with them. He did that in Milwaukee, but Andre Drummond is still there, all-star this year. Not initially.
Well, I'm going to tell you what that says. Detroit, your player development is looking real suspect.
Yeah.
Real suspect.
My question, though, is... And this is kind of the obvious question. Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, that's what kind of tripped me up about the deal. I mean, I don't think it's a bad deal for Detroit. I mean, Stan Van Gundy is kind of like he's trying to save his job. You know what I mean?
They need to make the playoffs.
Yeah, he needs to save his job in order to do that. Detroit hasn't made the playoffs in years, and it's like go out and get the best player being shopped around, Blake Griffin, who has his long-term contract. But Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin, where's that fit? How do you think that's going to be?
I don't think it's a horrible fit. The only reason I don't think it's a horrible fit is because of the way Andre Drummond's played this year and improved his game. They've been using him a lot in the high post. He's become a much better passer. He's shooting better at the line. You can actually play him in the fourth quarter. That's where actually he's kind of better than DeAndre Jordan. Blake has shown that he can play next to that athletic, defensive-minded big man. I think they actually can be okay.
And you think Drummond's better than DeAndre Jordan this season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can play him in the fourth quarter. I don't want DeAndre Jordan on my team in the fourth quarter. I wouldn't want. Where are you going to put him? Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, about the deal. And people look at, why didn't they get this and why didn't they get that? And I saw Zach Lowe write about it, and he's absolutely right. This is a deal this is a weeks of desperation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Detroit's desperate.
You have to be.
And I get it. People aren't coming to the games. They made the playoffs a couple years ago, like 2 years ago. But they've made it like once in the last.
Very inconsistent. And for the latter part of, ever since that whole, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, those guys like split up, Ben Wallace or whatever, they've been one of the lower half teams in the East. Yeah. Pretty much every single time.
And so they're desperate. I said nobody's going there. They haven't made the playoffs. Stan Van Gundy, you can say he's kind of underachieved with this team. Blake's a guy who can get him into the playoffs. How good can he be beyond that? They're going to have to still draft well. They're not going to have a first-round pick this year. They're going to need to put shooters around these guys. They're not going to have that. And Reggie Jackson's got to stay on the court. No. That's what it comes down to. We know Reggie Jackson.
Some people don't want him to
I'm not a huge fan of his game, but he can play to some degree, and we'll see what happens. I think it's all about what they do after, how they develop players. That has to be better. They have to add play pieces around them. But here's the thing, and I think you're kind of getting to this, Brian. This fit does not trend to where the NBA is going, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Blake Griffin's that 4 that can put the ball on the floor, that can hit the 3.
Well, he's tried to become that.
He's been better.
Credit to him.
He's improved his game. He's improved his range, but he's still not that dude. He's not a Karl Anthony Towns, a Porzingis, a Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He's not in that mold of. And you look at those kind of bigs, they can do it all.
But he is trying. If anything, we got to give him credit because he's trending that way. He's making at least.
But he's also 29.
And he's making about. Well, he's looking around at the age of 29 like, hey, this is where the league is going. I feel like he's been trying to do this for a while, though, because I remember his rookie year, he came in, he was a monster. He was 22 and 12, but it was still back to the basket,
dunking,
drive pass, dunk over Timofey Mozgov.
He even have a 15-footer at that point.
Throw it into the rim, you know what I mean? Then eventually he started stepping out, shooting more jumpers, much to the ire of Los Angeles Clippers fans at the time, but he did it because it just made sense. Like, if in order for him to really play with DeAndre Jordan, who's Andre Drummond-like, if nothing else, and in order for him to last in this league as that kind of player, he needed to develop that jump shot, which he has. And this year, he's making about 2 3-pointers a game, attempting at 6 or something like that. His percentage is around 34, 35. It's not awful.
It's not awful. I mean,
but he's still not Karl Anthony Towns, like where if he's open from 3, you're like, all right. Like you'll kind of. I'm
like okay with it. I'm not confident. Yeah. But here's the thing: we'll see if his game can evolve. If he can take his game to the next level, that's going to be the key. He's going to need to do that. He's now the face of that franchise. They're all in with him, so now they got to provide talent around him. And the key for that with Detroit, they're going to have to start drafting good. They're going to have to find some diamonds in the rough. They're going to have to do that because now they have all their money tied up into these 2 guys on the front court. And neither one is particularly you can do it all big man. As I said, they're not in the class of the Embiid, the Porzingises, that the young big guy that can do it all, put it on the floor, get to the line, block shots, hit the 3. He's not in that class of guy. So it's an interesting trade. It's one of these trades where I think it's fine for both teams. I understand where both teams are coming from. Mm-hmm. Now, the people who are like, it was messed up because the Clippers sold Blake on they were going to retire his jersey and blah, blah, blah. Look, man, things happen.
They still probably should retire his jersey.
I mean, he's one of the greatest Clippers after Chris Paul, probably. I don't know. That's going to happen because they got beef now. But look, these companies are not loyal. Learn that, people. Companies are not loyal.
Business talk.
They will cut you real quick. Now the Clippers realize they made a mistake, and they're like, okay. This is why I also don't fault players when they want to leave, as LeBron James said the other day.
And we'll probably get to this in a few seconds. I mean, it's not a real rumor, but that whole Golden State thing.
I didn't even click on that today. Didn't even want to look at it. It disgusts me. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. But Blake also, the only thing I'll fault the Clippers for, Blake found out about this trade on Twitter, like the rest of us. He found out about this trade on Twitter.
It's crazy because we're starting to hear more and more of these stories of athletes just kind of scrolling through their feeds.
How Woj know before you?
Word.
Like, what's up when Woj knows before you?
It's either Woj is that on point.
I mean, Woj is that dude, like, no doubt. But Woj knows before you. He's the best at what he does in the business, hands down. But damn, he knows before the player. Like, could you imagine yo, man? It's like any regular job, like the janitor at your job, sends you a text like, yo, man, you got fired. Not comparing Woj to a janitor.
Yeah, I was going to point that out.
I'm just saying, I'm saying that he's so removed from you and what you do. Well, no matter what your position is, that's if you're not a janitor yourself.
Yeah.
No disrespect to janitors, just throwing out a position there.
Yeah.
And finding out that way is just like
Dexter got to clear mad stuff up.
I did because I don't want janitors to be offending me. Janitors, but it ain't hard to tell. We ain't listening to your podcast anymore. Janitor hater.
You just killed like a part of our demographics right there.
Did I?
You might have.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Well, let me not kill the Jazz fans that listen right now.
Speaking of Jazz fans,
we'll get to the Jazz in 1 second.
We're coming for you, Matt.
So you found out
in the
Twitter,
words of Booker T, kind of.
Close enough.
The other stuff that's happened in the NBA that not in the trade is just guys dropping. Cousins tears the Achilles. You know, anytime somebody tears their Achilles, I just feel it, man, because I've torn my Achilles. And
fun fact,
and I know how painful that injury is, and just recovering to walk properly. Never mind play basketball against the best players in the world at a high level. Right. For somebody like DeMarcus Cousins, it is not easy. It's a very tough injury to recover from. And you see in a lot of these Achilles injuries, people, it's not from doing anything crazy athletic. He was just going for a rebound, tipped it out of bounds, landed. That's it. A lot of times it's just a freak thing. Kevin Love fractured his hand. Will be out 6 to 8 weeks. Who else is out? Am I missing somebody? Oh, John Wall. Andre Roberson.
Two very different.
Andre Roberson.
Future brother-in-law Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yes, and I spoke when I saw Spencer Dinwiddie's girlfriend at the event we were at. I talked to her a little bit about her brother being injured, and she said he's as it's tough. It's a tough break. He's out. He's a little down about it.
Because I mean, say what you want about his offense, but he's a very important part of that team defense. Because now people are trying to throw out there, and we just talked about Blake Griffin. One of the spots that they were talking about him ending up in was Oklahoma City for Paul George. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because Avery Bradley is somebody who, although he's just been traded, he could help them. Because they need somebody who...
That wouldn't shock me if you see that move get made. They could use somebody like him.
Although Roberson could guard 1 through 4, Bradley could kind of just guard 1s and 2s.
Maybe a 3.
Maybe 3 if the 3 is, Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Karis LeVert-ish, like 6'5", 6'6", not too much bigger. But, Avery Bradley is a great defender.
He'd be a great fit for them.
Yeah,
that's another guy. John Wall, we talked about, knee got scoped. He's out 6 weeks. I think these moves can change a lot of things in the playoff standings. I think OKC will be fine. I think they'll make a move. Avery Bradley wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Can he be traded twice in a couple of days? Well, yeah.
Who
got traded a couple years ago? Where they got traded multiple times in a week. I remember
didn't that happen with Rasheed Wallace a long time ago though? Like that 03-04 deadline where he went from. Isn't that how he got to Detroit? He went from Portland, and there was a pit stop. I want to say Atlanta. Am I tripping?
Yeah, I think you're right about Atlanta. I think you're right about that. I think
it was Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta.
And then he ended up going right to. Hold on, I'm gonna basketball reference.
Yeah, I don't even think he played a game for Atlanta.
Me neither. That's what I'm saying. So.
I don't think he played. I don't think he played
one game for Atlanta.
One game for Atlanta. Yeah, and it happened.
42 minutes.
It happened with somebody else recently where they did like 3 teams, but I think it was over the offseason.
Here we go.
So I don't think it was.
So he was Rasheed Wallace. Can't believe I didn't expect to get here, but
I don't know how we got to
traded by Portland with Wesley Person to the Atlanta Hawks for Sharif Abdul-Rahim and Dan Dickau and Theo Ratliff.
Dickau?
Yeah, February.
That's a throwback, man.
February 9th, 2004. And then this trade, I'm not even going to get through all these names, but 10 days later, he was moved to Detroit. And then they won a championship.
Great move. Great trade.
Yeah.
Atlanta was not good at that time, if I remember correctly.
Oh, no. Jason Terry was like their best player at one point, I think.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about LeBron to Golden State rumors. We're going to hear from our producer, Matt Faniza, about his Utah Jazz and their jerseys that they unveiled, the city jerseys the other night, and how he's
Matt's kind of turning the corner.
He's a flip-flopper. We're going to call him a flip-flopper.
Fraud.
A fraud. Yeah, fraud.
No, it can't be a fraud. That's messed up.
I'm
not a fraud.
You're a fraud.
All right.
Fraudulent behavior. We'll talk about fraudulent behavior when we come back on A Hard to Tell podcast. Listeners, you know sometimes how it can be hard just to get from point A to point B. Now, when I have to get anywhere and I don't want to deal with the hassle of public transportation, it ain't hard to tell how I get around. I always make sure to use the best car service app in the game. I'm talking about Lyft. Lyft offers rides in minutes. All you have to do is download the Lyft app, request a ride, and you will be on your way quickly. Lyft is all about happy riders and happy drivers. Take a ride with them and you'll see why 9 out of 10 rides end up with a 5-star rating. Lyft always has amazing offers for new customers, and I'm here to tell our listeners about a great offer today. Lyft is currently offering free ride credit to Ain't Hard to Tell listeners. If you are new to Lyft, then you are eligible, and getting your credit is easy. All you have to do is download the app and use the promo code AHTTPOD to unlock your free credit today. Ain't hard to tell who has the best car app service, so use the code today and ride out loud with Lyft. Hard to Tell podcast is giving away a $50 Amazon gift card to one of our lucky listeners. All you have to do is enter our gift card giveaway contest. It's easy and there are 12 ways to enter, including subscribing to the Backpack Broadcasting YouTube channel or following the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For more information, visit the giveaway link in the description info for this episode. Contest ends February 20th, 2018. Good luck, and may the luckiest listener win. The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take the Sports Walk today. All right, welcome back to the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 18. Dexter Henry and Bryan Fonseca here. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And we talked a lot of NBA in the first segment. We will talk a little bit more NBA here. Rumors came out.
Can I get into why?
Reports came out. Nobody's going to be able to see that.
It doesn't matter, but I'll just tell them real quick. But Minnesota's playing Milwaukee, so then Karl Anthony Towns is asked at halftime, like, how did he think that Minnesota played? And then he's just looking up at the scoreboard, and he's like, golly.
Out of breath.
He's like, damn, I didn't know we was up by 21. Wouldn't it feel good? You're beating somebody so bad, you don't even realize how bad you're beating them.
But see, I don't know, did he mean that he didn't think they were up by as much, or he thought that they were up by more? Because I don't know how to take that.
It sounded like he didn't know that they were up by as much as they were.
I guess he was all out of breath. I guess he was so into playing. He didn't look at the scoreboard.
17 points, 8 rebounds in the first half of solid too.
Well, that's focused.
Yeah. But anyway.
On to things that has the Twitterverse going crazy about the NBA. Rumors of LeBron going to Golden State.
Oh, God.
Today. Oh, LeBron. I saw this. I swear, there's some things I see as far as news I won't click on. This is one of these things. I saw rumors. Look, Golden State might entertain talking to LeBron after the season's over. If LeBron goes to Golden State, and I'm not gonna be one of those people who's gonna say this. I'm not gonna watch the NBA. Shut up, all of y'all.
There's people that say that. Golden State though.
Y'all gonna watch it because y'all gonna be rooting for them to go down so badly.
Absolutely.
All the people who said that after Kevin Durant. Oh, we're not gonna watch NBA. NBA ratings are as great as they've ever been. So all of y'all are lying out there. Those of y'all who talking about y'all ain't gonna watch Golden State. Yes, y'all will. Y'all gonna still tune into the NBA.
But that's not gonna happen
again and again. But it's not going to happen. This is the longest pipe dream, and LeBron will be known as the corniest person ever if he does that.
I do think that it's out there because somebody wants it to be out there, right? I believe it may have been Chris Haynes from ESPN Bay Area that he covers the Golden State Warriors. I think he was the first person to put this out there, and I'm pretty sure somebody maybe from LeBron's side or somebody from Golden State side, like they want to float this out there just so then like it can be talked about.
Well, I think I have my reasons. One, I think you're right. Two, I think the reason that would happen is I think it would come from LeBron's camp. LeBron wants it out there so that he can let Dan Gilbert know, if you want to keep me and don't want, the worst thing you'd want is me going to these dudes, you need to do what you have to do. The problem is, let's face reality. Let's face reality here. Snap back to reality. There is no move out there that is going to put the Cavs over the top unless they can get Paul George from the Thunder, and that ain't happening.
I actually think that, like I've rethought this recently, but I don't even think they're going to come out of the East at this point.
I think that's a legit possibility.
I'm at the point where I'm just like, I just can't see it right now.
Would it shock you with Kevin Love breaking his hand, him being out, they are 5 seed going to playoffs? That wouldn't shock me.
Right, no.
The team,
and they'll probably get bumped in, second round? I do, like, LeBron's history says when he, and rightfully so, when, everything is, like, kind of falling apart, he's just like, all right, I'm out of here. Because if he realizes he can't be the one to fix it, then he's just gone. And he's smart. Howard Beck talked about this last week in this seat right here, and I agree. Like,
I'm not mad.
People hate on him for that, but I'm not mad at him.
I'm not mad at him for that.
Why be on a sinking
ship? You got to hold management accountable, because when you're not playing well, they will trade you, right, Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
They will get rid of you when you're no longer valuable. They'll get rid of you. Yeah. So I have no problem with that. I think Cleveland is a sinking ship. I think there's not enough good players, and they are awful, as we spoke about with Howard Beck last week defensively. Yeah. Absolutely awful. I don't want to hear any more of that rumor. We know what it's about. LeBron's trying to get them to make moves. I don't have any problem with that. I just don't think there's a move out there that's going to put them anywhere over the top, contend for a championship. I just don't. I don't think it's there.
I agree.
Matt,
non-story.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Utah Jazz update from our producer, Matt.
Yes.
He still is missing Gordon Hayward. We all know this.
It's funny you say that, because someone, true story, last week someone saw me wearing my Utah Jazz hoodie on the train. It was this young kid. I don't know why people like to come up to me. Bryan can attest to this, that people just like to come up to me in random situations. I don't have a friendly face. I don't know why. This kid saw my Utah Jazz hoodie, and he's like, hey, Jazz, right? I'm like, yeah, what about him? He's like, Gordon Hayward, right? I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
And you were like, and what did you say?
By that? Gordon Hayward.
I don't know.
Did you say Donovan Mitchell, right?
I did. That's exactly what I said. I said Gordon Hayward.
I know you, man.
I was like, yo, Donovan Mitchell, man. That's where my heart is. He's like, yeah, but Hayward, man. I'm just like, he hasn't been playing all year. What does that matter to me? But yeah, that people. It's not even you who's busting my chops about it. I got random people on the train busting my chops.
They know
about
your heart is broken, man.
And they know you're the what? The number one Utah Jazz fan in New York City?
I am the number one Utah Jazz fan in the New York City tri-state area.
A weird hill to die on. But go ahead.
Well, I mean,
it's my own hill.
That's his
I'll be
thing.
I'll be the sole man on that hill.
Who's challenging him on that?
Nobody.
We haven't seen anybody step up to challenge him on that.
Nobody.
Because that guy had a chance to on the train. He could have thought he was he's not a Jazz. He's a fraud.
He is a fraud. Yeah, he's a fraud. I'm a diehard Jazz fan.
Fraud.
I'll die.
Frauds.
Everyone's a fraud.
You can't cover someone. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Jazz fan that is Matt.
Yes.
As if you watched our Behind the Pod episode, I don't remember which number that was, but you saw Matt and myself talking at WoHop about the Utah Jazz City Edition jerseys.
I forgot about that.
And we both said, although Kenny Ducey, our guest a couple guests ago on the podcast, he liked the City Edition jerseys, and I thought his taste was horrible. And whatever. So the other night, the Jazz are playing the Warriors, and I'm watching this game. Jazz are blowing out the Warriors. Unbelievably. Blowing out the Warriors. And they're rocking the City Edition uniforms.
Everything.
It looked like a sunset on the court. Before I get to that, my reaction was, yo, the court actually is kind of dope. I actually like the way the colors look with the light wood. And I was watching this. With my fiance Marguerite, and we were saying that like, yo, it kind of looks good. But the jerseys, we did agree. We both said it's not as bad as we thought.
It would.
It looked a little bit better. Now, you aren't going to see Dexter Henry rocking it out in these streets.
Nah.
That's not going to happen. Dexter Henry's not going to do that. But you might see Matt rocking these streets now. Why do I say that? Last night I'm on Twitter, and I'm looking at Twitter, and I see a tweet from Matt Finisa, producer of...
That I have not seen yet.
He has not seen it yet.
So this will be genuine reaction, just like when I pulled out the
And I
ESPN.
see
Producer,
CAFA on
no,
tweets.
I had a Twitter interaction.
Yeah, you have not seen that hat before.
And I could be great if I never saw it again.
Oh.
Producer of the Ain't Hard to Sell podcast, and quote, as we said before, #1 jazz fan in New York City. I mean, I don't know if he's #1 if he's the only one, but that's a whole nother thing.
That's still #1. That means there's one.
He said, quote, this is a tweet from Matthew Feniza. I've lived a lie over the last 2 months. After last night, I must come out and say it. The Utah Jazz City jerseys are flipping fire. 4 fire emojis. Like, if you didn't know it was fire for one, it's 4 fire emojis. Call me a hypocrite at those who heard me go against them. I don't care. They're 3 fire emojis. Hashtag.
Take note, baby. Take note. I don't care, man.
Fraud.
I'll tell you the reason.
Matt,
All
has
right.
anybody come at the #1 Utah Jazz fan and called you a hypocrite?
No
You're
one
allowed
has.
to change your mind.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel differently.
Yeah.
We need to have Dexter read our
Or are
tweets
you-
more often.
are
Yeah, it's
you-
actually, you did a good
That's
job at
my
that.
takeaway
Yeah, no,
from
we
it.
Well,
did good tweets.
I was trying to read it in my News 12 voice, Matt, in the story.
Oh, man. You won't like that comment. All right, here's my reason why I like the jerseys. They show all these concept pictures online, right? And a lot of people forget that a full jersey also comes with the shorts. The shorts, to me, okay.
Catch that.
Okay, but the thing is, though, they never release the jersey with the shorts, right? Sometimes the shorts make a jersey.
Okay, I see where you're going. Okay.
All right.
It
when
was funnier before you
Yeah,
had
it
to
was,
explain
it
it
was.
to us.
When I saw them warming up, because I follow everyone, almost the whole Jazz team on Twitter, and I saw my boy Donovan Mitchell warming up,
Your boy.
my boy, and Rudy Gobert coming out. Rudy Gobert, number 27, and he had the black shorts to the light top. I was like, yo, these jerseys, man, I've lived a lie. These are actually fire, man. And like,
You had a revelation.
I had a revelation. It was crazy. I don't know if it was all the bright colors on the court or something, or like my illegal stream was bad or something, but those jerseys, man, I put them second. No, I put them third because I like this gold statement jerseys. So it's the mountain jerseys, the statement jerseys, the gold note, and then the city jerseys. That's where I stand, man. Those city jerseys changed my life. Like, I like them now. I don't know why, but I really like them.
Changed your life.
Yeah, like I feel like I judged too quick on them.
I mean, they did look better than
They look better,
weren't as
yeah.
bad as I thought.
They look better in person.
I don't disagree with you on that.
They look
Did
better.
it change my life?
No.
Nope.
Well, I mean, it's because your Knicks are rocking some.
No, actually, the Knicks ones are okay to me. I don't think they're
Yeah,
great.
I
No,
still
okay.
think
They're
it
trash.
should be a Timberland boot and
That's 'cause you're-
something else instead of a fire hydrant. And
Brian, where are your
whatever.
keys?
What was the thing? Timberland boot and what was the other thing?
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Bacon, egg, and
or
cheese.
something.
Yeah. Why
There
don't you tweet
go.
that? You should have tweeted that the Knicks.
They're not gonna listen to me.
Yeah,
How do you know? The
should.
Jazz tweet my stuff.
They're gonna be like, go worry
They
about
like
that
my
Nets
stuff.
shit.
The Jazz tweeted me too. Remember the whole Trevor
That's
Booker
right.
thing that he was gonna dunk
Because
on
the
Rudy
Jazz
Gobert,
are by far the
and Rudy
best social
Gobert was
media
hurt.
They're
the
good,
best.
and the Blazers are really good too.
Yeah, the Jazz are
And
great.
and the Nets got a little saucy with the Sixers after that last win. The
I like.
Sixers were like,
Hashtag saucy.
Fans are chanting Eagles with 2 minutes left in the game, and then the Nets were like, oh, all we heard is an L.
Wow.
Which is what the Eagles will take in the Super Bowl.
Sadly,
hope not.
sadly, I'm not even gonna watch the Super Bowl.
I don't care. I'm probably not gonna watch it either.
I'm not either. I have no plans on
Go
doing
Eagles.
I might go to the gym.
Yeah,
Word.
I think I actually have some friends coming over to chill.
I won't even be in New
We're
York.
gonna watch movies and just chill. Like, I'm not watching the Super Bowl.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
There you
what's
go.
up.
Watch The Get Down. You haven't seen that yet.
I'm good. I'll pass.
Yeah, so that's where I stand.
Okay, it's changed your life. Brian, anything you want to know?
Any
Nothing
thoughts?
at all.
Any
Burning
trade?
questions?
Any,
Anything that's changed your life?
When's your birthday?
March 25th.
All right.
Okay, that was weird. Don't know why anybody
That's all,
cared.
yeah, I don't know. Everyone out there, March 25th. Keep
yeah.
that on your calendar.
The Cleveland Indians decided that at the beginning of 2019 they will be changing the Chief Wahoo logo.
I get it.
Now, for people, nobody's heard this on the podcast, but for people who know me personally, they know I feel very strongly about the Indians' use of the name, the logo. I won't even mention the team's name, the football team in Washington.
What about
that is
like
awful.
San Diego State?
Yeah.
Aztecs.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other ones, but yeah.
I applaud to somewhat of a degree, golf clap, to the MLB for saying, "Hey, we'll change the logo." Apparently, Rob Manfred wanted it gone.
Yeah.
Right.
For
He
something.
changed the logo. The logo. I'm gonna be clear about this. The logo's offensive.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The logo's absolutely, positively offensive.
Yeah.
The reason it's only lasts this long, the reason we only have the team in Washington, all these other names that are based on Native American culture, is because Native Americans pretty much have been wiped out from here in this country. So they're a very small percentage of the population. And you know what? Y'all be acting like y'all don't care about them. They're talking about y'all people out there that are, oh, let's keep the Indians logo. Why they got to change the logo? What's wrong with the team in D.C.? Nah. Think for a second. If they took any other ethnicity, a culture, and put their name to represent a team, who's been more culturally appropriated through sports as a culture than Native Americans? Nobody.
Remember, but God forbid this would happen. Remember Bomani Jones?
Yes.
Mike and Mike.
And listen, when Bomani Jones, for people who don't know, when Bomani Jones came on Mike and Mike, and he wore the same logo that looks like the Chief Wahoo logo, except it was a white face and it said Caucasian.
That's actually funny.
I loved it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it showed how ridiculous it is to put a culture of people and have them represented for a team.
Yeah.
Now, who wants it? What, are you gonna have the Birmingham Blacks?
Yeah.
The Cleveland Caucasians? Everybody would say it's wrong. It's offensive.
Like one thing I gotta say though is that if you do look at MLB history and you look at the Negro Leagues, a lot of the names are offensive. That's all I gotta say.
The Negro Leagues?
That's what I'm saying though, but it shows that the thing is,
like you haven't heard that.
Yeah, you haven't seen. That's what they're called. That's what they were called.
No. That's not why I.
I was like, bro, I know my history.
What was one of the offensive team names in the Negro League?
So, whatever it would be, it would
the
be
Homestead Grays.
It would be such
Kansas
and such.
City Monarchs.
Some of them are bad though.
Pittsburgh Crawfords.
Yeah,
Birmingham Black Barons. Newark Eagles. But
either way,
Newark Eagles. That's not offensive.
No, it's not offensive.
Yeah, I don't know about the
But the point stands is like that was 19 whatever it was. This is 2018.
But that's what I'm saying. It like the logo.
All those names and a lot of things in sports have run its course. Like you know with. I don't know. NCAA rules for example.
One example is St. John's. They used to be the Redmen.
Well, let's applaud St. John's for when it was brought up to their attention and it was wrong. They stepped up and did the right thing.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's crazy that at some point somebody said, "Hey, it's okay we're going to refer to this culture of people." We're talking about Native Americans, who again I will stand by my point. Tell me another group that's been culturally appropriated through sports like them. And yes, if somebody's going to listen to this podcast and say, well, Dexter, do you think they should get rid of the Braves and the Chiefs? Yes, I do.
Yeah, the Braves chant is crazy.
Yeah.
Is it the Seminole one? Wait,
no, it's the one. It's the
Seminoles,
one.
All that stuff has to go.
Yeah.
All that stuff has to go because think about it. Who's making these choices? And somebody could say, well, I don't think Braves is offensive. Well, you're not Native American.
But
you
don't
get
what
the right
it
to
is.
say that.
But you know what it is in sports, especially because I don't know why, but we kind of know why. But we're just so ingrained with all these names that we're just so used to it for all these years, and people just don't. They're resistant to change as it already is. And then they also just want to keep things the same, like, oh, why change it? Because they don't want to get used to the Atlanta Braves being called, I don't know, the Atlanta, whatever, Pirates.
If you're okay, if here's the thing, I've met, and I know fans of that football team in D.C., I refuse to say the name, a football team in D.C. that are minorities. They're not necessarily Native American, but they know that it's offensive. And they still root for the team. They still support the team. And I'm like, how? Because I'll say it again. If this was the Baltimore Blacks, because that's just as ridiculous as having the Cleveland Indians or Cleveland Caucasians that was set on. The whole point of it is ridiculous and it's offensive. Right? I don't care what group of people it is. If you want to be cool with that, you can't be cool with this. You can't be cool with it.
Yeah.
So I applaud baseball to a degree, but you know what else I have to say? Gotta get rid of the Indians' name. It's gotta go. The Indian name.
Are they not? Wait, they're not getting rid of the Indians' name?
The Indians' name will still be there.
Yeah, so they're just not using.
You're kind of half stepping on this.
So what's the point?
So if you take
the point,
like sure, you're taking away the logo, but what What's it gonna? A C and an I? Is that gonna be your logo
the
now?
C. It's the alternative logo now. So the C, which was their main
just
logo.
get rid of
the only
That's
time
why
they,
the alternative logo came out
Like
years
the-
ago, because they
yeah.
knew they were trending this
Yeah,
way.
and the only time you see the Chief Wahoo logo would be at their home uniforms, the patch would be on the
sleeve.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, it's
so
like-
I read somewhere that although they're not going to use them in game, merchandise might still be sold.
I saw that too.
I read that, but I don't know the legitimacy.
I think
around that.
It'll be
this year
sold
is the
at
last
least.
year.
It'll be
though.
sold at least till 2019, and the reason
Okay.
they sold it because they don't want to lose money that they could get on the trademark. Because once you stop selling an item,
Yeah.
you can then lose rights to that trademark.
You know-
somebody else can buy that and then start selling it.
You know, everything goes back to money. That's so funny.
And here's the
Capitalism.
other thing we have to recognize: that doesn't mean that Major League Baseball can't still produce. People need to think about this. Throwback jerseys that have the Indians logo on it. So you
People
don't
wear
get-
Negro League jerseys in
Yeah.
baseball right now.
I could get.
That's
yeah.
fine. But I'm still waiting for the Negro League team that's an offensive name.
I'm gonna look that up during break.
I-
There's one. There's
No,
at
I
least
just
one.
rattled off a bunch. I'm not trying to. I'm just.
I just don't remember one that's
the Atlanta Black Crackers, which that's kind of
Dude, that's come on. What do you like? There's a couple out there, man.
But
the New York Cubans. I would like
that's bad.
that's pretty
That's
bad.
bad.
That's pretty
Like
bad.
that's bad. That's horrible.
the Brooklyn Royal Giants. I want to just keep
No, that's
doing
not
that.
The
bad.
Brooklyn was it New York Cubans?
Yeah,
That's awful.
the New York Black Yankees.
See, like that's what I'm saying. Black.
Baltimore Black
That's what I'm
Sox,
saying.
those
If
are
they have the
socks.
word black.
But they're putting their culture in front of it.
Yeah, but
And
you know that's different. That's
the-
different.
The only thing
Yeah,
is,
I know it's different, but I
Different.
mean, it could just
like
be
I
Yankees.
told
But
you
you
before
know-
the
you know-
podcast. I told you before the
But
podcast.
then again, yeah.
If there was a movie coming out named White Panther as opposed to Black Panther, we look at it a little funny.
Yeah, but
for
my
obvious
funny
reasons.
remark
Yes.
to Bryan, just to like make a funny remark, I said, "What if it was White Panther, but it was still a black guy in the white suit? Would you still see it?"
I'd be I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna speak for a lot of black people. I think a
Yeah.
lot of black people be upset that it was a white
Because of
Panther.
the white suit.
They're already
White suit.
upset that Michael B. Jordan is with white girls.
Well, people
Like-
people were upset
people-
that they didn't shoot in Africa. And they don't
Oh, we
understand,
spoke about
and
this.
they don't know the logistics
talk
of
about
making.
this on the podcast?
No,
Yeah,
I don't
that
know if we
person's
did, but they
stupid.
don't know the logistics of making a movie.
It's like, yo,
You know how expensive that is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I commented somebody about that on Twitter. I'm forgetting who commented, and we were talking back and forth
Like, why
about
do
it.
you
And
guys
that
shoot in
person's
Africa?
stupid.
Yeah.
So I have nothing to.
So that person, if you found the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, you're stupid. According
that comment
to
is
Dexter
stupid.
Henry.
That comment is stupid. So Robert Manfred, we're talking about, is he wanted the logo gone to promote diversity in baseball.
That's what I wanted to get to. Do you feel like he's sincere? Because it does sound
I think
like
there's a difference between being since your heart is in the right place,
Yeah.
and I think he's actually trying to do a lot of right
I
things
agree
for the
too.
game.
I agree too.
But my thing is, I would prefer to see a hard stance where you come out and say, "Yo, we can't have these offensive names." So you have a logo, but you still have the Cleveland Indians. Then the point applies. It's like if the team in Washington gets rid of their logo, but they still call the team the name of the team that currently is horrible. Roger Goodell was asked if Dan Snyder would be willing to change the name of the team in Washington. Of course, he said no. We know the NFL doesn't care about issues like this, so I'm not surprised
yeah, I
about
think
that.
Manfred cares a lot more than.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think, look, it's
and
a
maybe in due time, maybe he gets rid
It's
of
a
like
posi-
the Braves, the Indians.
It's a positive step in the right direction. But I think more people that know better need to speak up for not speak up because the Native American population is so low because of basically mass genocide in this country, what's been
So
done to
other
the Native American.
minorities should speak up for.
I
on
think
behalf of
not even
Native
just minorities.
Americans.
Anybody that knows it's wrong.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that it's wrong, you got to speak up. Like if Matt says something, he brings up something on Negro Leagues. The Black Cubans is horrible. I'm not co-signing.
Black
Not
Cubans.
Black Cubans. Sorry, it was
No,
New York
it's
Cubans.
New York Cubans.
New York Cubans.
The Black
You
Cubans.
cannot have a team named after people of a culture.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, positively
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And you could get away with that back then because it was a different time or whatever.
No,
the
but
case
now
may
we're
be.
calling
but
it
now,
out and
yeah, but
the-
now you can't. If you're put it this way, if you're making a team now, you're relocating to a new city.
Yeah,
you're
that's not gonna fly.
You're not naming your team, the Orlando Black Men. That's
No,
not gonna happen.
it's not.
Oh, Chicago Blackhawks and hockey is another one. And hockey.
yeah, that's
Hockey.
In
Yeah, I
hockey,
forgot
They
about
ain't
that.
gonna let that go.
No, that's
the fan
that's
base there
saying.
is gonna stay. They're gonna
Yeah.
fight for that. Look at their fan base. What you think is gonna happen? It's hockey. No,
That's why I said in hockey of all sports to have
It's
a name
I'm sorry. It's gotta go. It's wrong. It's just nobody would be fine if it affected their culture. That's why I loved Bomani Jones' shirt because it proved the point of how ridiculous it is. Yeah, how do people feel as the Cleveland Caucasians? Nobody would be for that.
The Cleveland Caucasians, the Washington Wiggers, like you know what I mean.
Nobody would be for that.
Nobody's
That's ridiculous.
It's
like making a team and call it the Brooklyn Guidos.
Right. And yes.
Exactly. Greenpoint Guidos.
Greenpoint Guidos.
Alliteration.
The Italian American community, the Italian community would be outraged, and I would support them in their outrage because it's wrong.
Yeah,
Case in point.
The Portland Puerto Ricans.
I would see both those names would offend me. So
I'd be like, we're not in Portland, first of all.
And it should offend you. All right, but it's good. We're not here for that. It's Black History Month. We ain't here for that. That's all I got to say. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of hip-hop. Album I've been waiting for,
both of us.
Anticipating for a while. Just dropped a single the night before we recorded this. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and some other things, whatever we want to talk about on Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
Sports Guru is the place where fans talk about sports via video. All videos are 60 seconds or shorter. Sports Guru makes the video look more professional and fun by adding automated on-screen graphics. You can follow your favorite sports by team, trending, new, or by people you follow, and more. Type in the title of your video and it will auto-magically go into your on-screen graphics. It's just that simple. Tag your teams and publish sports. Let's talk sports.
It ain't hard to tell where to get the latest merchandise from Backpack Broadcasting. Gear is now available via TeePublic. Visit the Backpack Broadcasting TeePublic online store to get shirts, hoodies, mugs, and phone cases. Represent your favorite Backpack Broadcasting shows, including the Sports Walk, Sideline Stories, and of course, the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. Check out the special offers for our podcast listeners at http://t.pub/lic/backpack. Get in the game with your official Backpack Broadcasting gear today.
Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 18. Dexter Henry, Bryan Fonseca, with our producer Matthew Faniza here.
Who's contributing a lot today.
This is the most we've heard. It's the most we've heard him speak.
I like this. I like this new Matt. You said you were ready to talk before the show.
Well, we can't be surprised because the new Jazz jersey changed his life. So he started talking.
I had a revelation, guys.
Right. Yeah, a revelation.
I had to speak.
Last night before we record this podcast, PRhyme, the combination of the great, my favorite producer of all time, DJ Premier, also known as Primo.
Mine too, I think.
With Royce the 5'9", one of our favorite rappers.
Absolutely. I have hard copies of his album.
Vastly underrated lyricist. And PRhyme 2, we had known for about a week that it was dropping on March 16th. So we did know that. February 1st, the single dropped. Hold on.
East. Let me set this up a little bit. So I had found the single. This was like a couple minutes after midnight. So I saw it. I sent it to Dex. And he's like, "Oh, thanks. I'm gonna check this out."
Because you know why? You know why? Because I was about to like literally go to bed, and I had just taken I forgot for whatever reason. I just taken the AirPods out of my ear, and I was sitting to something, and I was like, "Oh, pop these back and listen to this."
Because I sent it, and it's funny because we as soon as I saw it, and he's like, "I'm gonna listen to this right now," so I was like, "I'm gonna listen to this now," also. So we both rushed to it because we're excited for PRhyme 2. And usually, and we're gonna get to this in a little bit, Dexter's the kind of person who, kind of wants to wait for the album to roll out to hear,
Sometimes I'll listen to one single, and that's what to totally clear, I'll limit myself to one single.
What's a recent example? Because I remember, what's the album that came out recently that you wanted to listen to? And I was like, hey, there's a single out. And then there was 3 singles that came out. You were like, I'm waiting to the album. I think it was Joey Badass maybe last year.
Yeah, I only listened to because at that point I already heard "Devastated" and I heard "Land of the Free." And
I was you were waiting because I sent you the song with Schoolboy Q, "Rockabye Baby." You were like, "Nope, I'm waiting."
I have my reason for that is I don't like to hear too many songs that I don't get to hear things in the flow of the album the first listen, and I like to hear it in the order it's intended. So anything more than one single, I feel like disrupts that because I like hearing sequencing and knowing that, because then you hear too many stuff, you start looking at the track list, and you're like, oh, I know how that's going to sound after that, but you don't really appreciate it in that first listen. Which, for that being said, and we'll get back to the PRhyme in a second, is why I truly love when artists just drop albums and don't have any singles. And I wish more of my favorite artists would just do that.
All right, we're gonna finish PRhyme first and then get back to it, because that's gonna be the deeper discussion.
Yes, I wish more artists would actually do that. We started texting about that last night and saying that. But the single is called Error with Dave East,
who just dropped Paranoia 2 that I like.
I have not listened to it, and I'm not sure I will listen to it.
Wow. I mean,
sometimes it's just like, I'm not really.
Why? Is it because of 2 albums in 5 months?
Yeah, I'm
and
not.
You're just like, I'm gonna get to this
Some
later
people
on.
there's nobody that want 2 albums from in 5 months. Nobody.
Migos.
Like nobody. There's nobody that wants.
Me neither.
People don't understand
Not
that.
even from
People don't be like, yo, you wouldn't want 2 Nas albums in 5 months, or 2 J albums, or 2 Kendrick albums? No, I don't.
Let me enjoy the first one.
Yeah,
for
I
like
like enjoying a project. Less is more sometimes, guys. Quality over quantity.
Future.
Yeah. Yo, Future dropping 2 albums in 2 weeks. I was gonna listen to them anyway, so it didn't matter. But you got Migos dropping an album recently, Culture 2. I'm not listening.
Trash.
I just skimmed through it. We can get to that.
Trash.
Was that an hour and 45 minutes?
Too many songs.
Come on, man.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, the single's Error with Dave East, representing East Harlem. What did you think of the single?
At first listen, I was very thrown off by the beat. You know what I mean? Because I'm expecting, PRhyme 1, we know how it sounded, boom bap, like technical hip hop.
Now, if you remember, there was a difference between these 2 albums, in that the samples will all be on this album from Ant-Man Wonder. The samples on the first one were all from Adrian Young. So original compositions from them is all sampled from them.
I'm kind of curious to see if the entire album gonna sound like this, or maybe this is that one anomaly and that's why they made it the single. I'm not sure. To me, it was a very curious choice to put as a single.
But when you say
I'm
that,
not crazy about the song, because the beat is kind of like, it's weird. I gotta let it grow on me, sit with me for a little bit. But I love Royce's verse. But I love the XXX Tentacion line.
Yeah, I like everything. I agree with you on all of that. But you just said something when you said it's an interesting choice to put out as a single.
Yeah.
What does that mean, and what is your expectation of a single? Because I think that's also part of the thing now. It's like, what do you expect a single to do? Especially if you're an independent release like PRhyme. What are you expecting the single to do?
Maybe I'm expecting the single to not be as out there or as different from maybe what the other songs are going to be. Now, I don't know what the other songs are going to be, which leads me to believe maybe there are some other weird, sounds on the album. Maybe there are some other things that are out there, some other risks being taken. You know what I mean? Like when I heard Vince Staples, who had a lot of these type of sounds in his album, where that
was still a little different. That was more EDM driven.
But
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know. But when I heard Backpack, which sounded different from Prima Donna, it sounded a little bit different from the other stuff he's did. Then Big Fish came out, and I'm like, this sounds like more of a party song. And then I heard the rest of the album. I'm like, okay, I see where it fits. I see the sequence, and everything kind of sounds the same. It sounds like a full album going through. So I'm curious to see how this sounds, and if this song's going to stand out by its sound, or is everything going to blend together?
I'm confident it'll.
I'm still expecting a great project.
I'm confident it'll blend together. I think the difference might just be in, I think, being somebody who was a little bit more familiar with Adrian Young's production, or Younge, I feel like I'm messing up his name. I kind of knew the sounds of PRhyme 1, what it would be a little bit more based on. It'd be a little more piano, organ heavy. I'm slightly familiar with Ant-Man Wonder's production, so I don't know what Primo's going to rely on as far as samples here. My concern with the album, for I see, is the track listing. 17 tracks. I'm not a fan of that.
You really don't like albums beyond 12 tracks?
No, 14. I'll say 14.
14, okay.
There's very few albums. There's very few albums that I could say over 14 tracks that I think are fantastic.
I don't mind the 17. See, I don't mind the 17 tracks, and I kind of told you
because they're gonna have interludes.
Because
if they're interludes like You Lose off the first one where there's actually rapping, I'm fine with that. If there's interludes where people are just talking, I can't stand skits. Here's
the thing that I like. Okay, 17 tracks, fine, but 2 of them are skits, both short, and most of the songs 3.5 minutes, not very long.
It's not a long album. It's only a 53-minute album.
One of my favorite projects Pinata from the last few years is
course.
similar. Like it's similar to that.
Of
No, I'm being
course.
serious.
You know it's coming back.
But
knew
it's
it.
but here's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
It's similar to that in terms of it's the exact same amount of tracks. In Pinata, there are only 2 skits. One of them is a verse, and the other one is hilarious. You know what I mean? And most of the songs aren't very long.
I think I've told you before. I can care less for skits. I
agree.
I do not care about skits unless they somehow fit into a theme of an album. There are
You
2 albums in my life that I've listened to where skits have worked. 3. Sorry.
I could add a 4th, but you haven't listened to it yet.
1
but
is
you
Good
will.
Kid, Mad City. 2 is Pimp a Butterfly. 3 is The Miseducation.
I thought he was gonna say damn.
Yeah,
No.
so did I.
No.
Bar Exam 3. I mean, no. Yeah, Bar Exam 3. You gotta. Those skits are hilarious.
But see, I don't care if it's funny. I
But they also fit into the
There's
album.
a lot of skits that are hilarious, but they're just different.
Even though the
comedic
skits
relief.
are only like what 7 seconds, 20 seconds, and
There's
that
very
mixtape.
few skits that are funny that I still will go back and listen to. In fact, there are some skits that you play sometimes, and it's like, yo, you're kind of uncomfortable. Like I was working out a month ago, and Matt might not know this album, and I was listening to Big Pun's Capital Punishment, and after what's the song?
Good
with,
workout album.
Great workout album.
The 20th anniversary
Except
is
for-
coming up, by the way.
After the song with Super Lyrical with Black Thought,
Yeah.
it then transitions to Punish Me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will not get into why that'll make you uncomfortable if you are working out.
I gotta listen
But-
to this.
I know
we'll
you're
play this
so-
for you after the podcast. But if you're working out and you finishing, Super Lyrical is a great song, Black Thought rips it, and then you hear the skip between Super Lyrical and Punish Me, it's like, you know, when you were young, when I remember listening to this album when I was 15 or whatever when it came out, and I remember being like, oh, you like smiling, oh, okay, yeah. But now at my age, I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, it's a bit much, and it's like, what's the purpose? And I'm not laughing at it. So I think that's kind of where I am. Just like,
Yeah, but some skits are funny though. Like they had to be well done. One of my favorite skits ever is which album was it? Ghostface album. One of the Fish albums that came out in 2006. The one with the little boy. I forgot the name of
the Whip You With a Strap before Whip You With a Strap.
Yeah, Bad Little Kid.
Bad Little Kid.
Yeah,
that
whatever
actually
it's
was
called.
funny.
That is
Yeah,
hilarious.
before Whip You With a Strap, and I like that.
We gotta
song.
play that for you off the podcast.
That's a song
too.
I like too. Now, Who always had some interesting skits, but I mean, the thing is,
Oh,
like,
they're skit heavy.
I'm
too.
never really playing these things again. I only play skits again that fit in the theme of an album.
Yeah.
So if I listen to Good Kid, Mad City, I listen to Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, those skits never bother me
Yeah.
because they're so brilliantly done.
Yeah.
And very, skits sometimes have taken the luster off of albums, like College Dropout. I think College Dropout's a fantastic album.
Late
But
Registration
the
too.
skits, the album too, the skits is what brings those albums down a little bit for me. Where if I ever hear this, I could be playing College Dropout and I could be in the other room cleaning and I'll be like, nope, I'm not trying to hear broke, 5 broke. I'm not trying to hear that. Ain't nobody trying to hear
When
that.
you hear the dude with the voice.
Yeah. I'm not trying to hear. And I really love songs in that album. But I'm not trying to hear that. Chicago. Kanye West, what you doing? Yeah, I mean, Cedric, look, and he got people. Cedric Entertainer does the voice on there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Yeah.
If somebody brings on somebody as a guest for the intro, I know Talib Kweli did it where he had Dave Chappelle and other people, that's cool. But
And then Logic did it when he had Neil deGrasse Tyson.
except that was poorly executed.
God.
And that's an album that hasn't sat well with me over months. I'll get into that some other time. Told you. You did. No, you did say that. You did. You know what the problem with the album is? We'll get into this another time, but I will say that album, I listened back to it, and there's songs I like on the album, but Logic it comes across as he was trying too hard on the album. And it was like, I got what he was trying to talk about and representing everybody in equality, so I like the basis of what he stood for, but I think he was trying too hard on the album and didn't have a concrete message. That's almost as bad as skits, right? Because then that's where you can really be all over the place.
Yeah.
I think that matters in albums, man. I think tightness, condensedness, how it flows, right, Matt? No matter what genre of music is, how it flows tightly, it matters.
Hey, I said that when I first heard Logic's album. So Brandon, you got to stop. Not Brandon Gordon. My boy Brandon from my neighborhood. You got to stop telling me that you love that album. Because I'm tired.
But he might love it. Let him rock.
I'm
Let
tired.
it be. I mean,
Let
some
it
people
rock.
love Migos.
There you go.
There you go, man.
Some people saying that Culture 2 is a classic. Not
Wow.
me. Not me.
Wow. One thing on skits, though, I listen to a lot of MF Doom.
Why are you laughing for MF Doom?
Yo, MF Doom has a
We
lot
were
of...
listening to him before you
We
walked in
were,
here,
actually. He was... I Captain.
I was playing
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I knew a lot of his songs in high school because that was when I kind of discovered food and mad villainy.
Yeah.
Mad villainy is not better than Pinata.
Yeah. So Mad Villainy has a lot of has a couple of skits on it, and I think it adds to the whole realm of it, though.
But MF Doom is like weird.
I don't remember the
works.
skits. I don't remember the skits on that. I have to go back and listen to that. I don't remember it. But I have to go back and listen to that.
You brought up a topic. Now let's transition because I want to get to this before we finish. You brought up a topic last week at some point where you asked us what was the question exactly? The superpower question.
So we were working doing some event, and I got really bored.
That should
and we
be
had
unnamed.
and we had headsets on, and that's how we communicate. Brian gets a headset because if we have an extra one, we give it to Brian just for the sake
giving
of
away too much info.
Yeah. Okay. My question was, I was doing Would You Rathers, and my Would You Rathers were, would you rather fly or would you rather be invisible? And it was
we both said invisible, and you said we're
fly.
Tripping, and we want to fight you.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be violent with nobody. I'm good.
Wow. All right.
But we said invisibility, and you think we're bugging.
You are
First
bugging.
of all, Dexter, explain why invisibility.
I'm gonna say it's real simple. I don't want to be around everybody all the time. I don't want everybody to see me all the time.
That's what I'm
when
saying.
I want to get away, I can just get away. I can still be there and get away.
The same thing with flying. I can fly away.
Nah,
Too much
you're
energy.
still
I'm expanding
seeing.
energy.
Oh my!
You're still seeing.
When I want to
If you're
chill,
invisible,
what if I don't want to expand that energy? I just want to chill, and I don't want anybody to see me. Sometimes I don't want to see people.
Yeah. If I'm at the workplace,
Imagine you at work, you want to you want to dip out, but you don't want to have to walk out, but you could just become invisible. Nobody knows you there. Great.
Yeah, but people are gonna know you're missing.
We gotta make a machine have the ad.
You're
so then
acting like I care about that.
Dexter could read the ad for the invisibility thing.
Right.
We gotta make this.
Yeah,
nobody
you're
steal
like
our
I don't care
idea.
I don't care that people know I'm missing. Look for me.
I don't know.
You're not gonna find me. Like you know what I mean?
I'd rather fly.
If the train is
And the thing is, I like flying. I was having a conversation with I like flying.
If you're on the sub, I don't like heights. If you're on the subway, if you're what?
Ryan.
What?
This guy.
Why? Because I don't like
I don't
heights.
like heights.
So what won't you do? You won't get on a roller coaster?
Oh, I don't like roller coasters.
Of course.
I don't like roller coasters. I don't smoke. I don't like heights.
Wait. What does roller coasters have to do with smoking?
Zero.
I don't like roller coasters.
That's like the
I
two-
don't smoke.
If I explain that joke, it becomes a bad joke.
I
so
don't.
I'm not gonna
I
do
don't.
it.
Yeah, I knew. Oh, boo.
I don't get it. I still don't get it.
I get it, but it's bad.
No, it's bad.
Okay, whatever. We're gonna move on from that.
F y'all.
Flying over.
So
here's the
you
thing.
don't like getting on a
Here's the
plane?
thing. Here's
You don't
the-
like getting on planes?
No, that's fine, but I'm in a plane.
But you're.
I don't look down. I don't look out the window. I don't be like. and I'm looking.
That's me. I look down the window. I love
I
heights.
do. It depends where I'm at, but no, I don't like you're not getting me to.
You
go
get an
on
aisle
high.
seat.
I'm not going.
You're
on
an
high
aisle. You're an
everywhere.
aisle man.
No,
I'm an
it doesn't
aisle
matter.
guy.
Well, it doesn't matter.
You close the window. Do you get nervous when it takes off?
No,
You don't get nervous when it. So
I'm cool. No, I mean it depends. If it's a small plane, because I've gone from I've did a connecting flight before where I've went from New York to Phoenix and then Phoenix to California and then Phoenix to
It's a
California
small
plane.
plane.
Yeah, the smaller plane.
Definitely unsteady.
More turbulence.
You know what I mean? I felt like I got a concussion, and then when I got off the plane, I was like, all right, I'm pretty good now. I feel like I just got rocked a few times, but whatever.
So you wouldn't go skydiving?
Oh no,
Brian, if I pay you $500 to skydive with me,
500?
yeah,
I do it for free. 'cause wanna do it
I need
anyway.
way more money than that
To skydive?
Shoot.
It's only skydiving.
5 figures.
God,
yeah, get out of here.
5 figures,
I really
man.
invest that into the podcast.
5 figures. But my brother actually made an interesting point, and we're getting off topic here, but who cares? He said he went skydiving while sick, and he wasn't all crazy about heights either, even though he would get on roller coasters. I think he's a liar because he would go on King the Con stuff like that. But still, he went skydiving sick. He landed. He was fine. He wasn't sick anymore, and he was good, and he's gone skydiving.
Moral of the
after
story
that.
is you got the flu, get up in a plane, jump out.
Yeah.
Don't feel a whole lot better.
I'll probably skydive one day. I'm sure I'll get over it.
Oh,
But
you heard it here first,
All
everyone.
you people worried about the flu and the flu shot, skydive.
But I feel like I'm better with it now than I used to be, because now I can look out a window when I'm 30 stories up, no problem, as long as I don't
Before
envision.
you used to be like sitting in the corner,
Before
cowering.
before
shaking.
I would envision myself falling out, and then I'm like, oof, now I'll just go sit down somewhere. I'm good.
That's some dark thoughts, man.
Some dark thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now I'm happy.
Like, how are you gonna fall out?
Nah, you mad most of the time.
Now I'm happy.
anyways. You're mad.
No, yo, you gotta stop
Yeah,
with
he's
this.
pretty
You're
angry.
mad.
You're pretty
Yeah,
angry.
he's pretty
It's-
angry
no,
most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
pretty
pretty
angry.
What were we talking about before?
You went into like how
Oh,
you're scared.
invisibility. So I wanted to make a point.
Oh,
Look, don't
God.
you think like if what? I'm agreeing with you.
No, I'm just no. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be invisible. He's
Me
gonna
too.
fly.
I'm a fly.
I'm gonna be invisible.
Hey, man.
like,
Really?
yo, if there's a train delay,
Yeah.
you could just walk on the tracks to the next stop, or just run instead of just like you know what I mean.
I could just fly home. I could just fly home.
Yeah, that argument didn't work for that.
Yeah.
Plus,
Just fly
plus the
home.
thing is, invisibility doesn't stop you from still being touched or hit. Like, because you're invisible doesn't mean like if you're invisible.
Oh,
and I know you're
there's
gonna touch
room
you,
to stay. And you never played Grand Theft Auto?
I have played Grand Theft Auto. I
Probably
don't
like-
play
I just
that
wanted
much.
Dexter to say he's
One of
played
the
Grand
old
Theft
I
Auto.
have. I'm not a big huge fan of Grand Theft Auto as
Why
a
not?
game. Because I think it's a game that has a lot of poorly drawn characters that are
Okay.
uber
Did you play
stereotypical.
GTA 5? The
No.
California one?
That's
I mean,
uber
I've so-
stereotypical.
Yeah, that's why I don't play Grand Theft Auto. That's
Yeah.
why I don't mess with it because I think it's overly stereotypical.
It's fun, though.
It's
It's
to
fun.
a whole bunch of people. No, I'm not just talking
It's
about
fun.
women.
It's fun.
But look, I know it's fun because the mayhem people create, but like, it's not my cup of tea. It's not
No,
my
I
cup
get
of
it. I
tea.
get
Yeah,
it.
but your dad.
But I don't disrespect the game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, the reason why I think I understand where you're coming from, but it's
Not to be gay
super
here.
stereotypical to
Everybody.
everybody.
Doesn't make
Yeah, it is.
And that's fine. And it's not like it's picking on one group
No,
of
it's
people.
not.
It's got some offensive stuff to women.
Yeah.
People,
A whole
culture,
bunch.
Italians.
Oh,
White
please.
people, black
yeah.
people, everything.
Yeah.
Asians. Yeah, they got
You
gotta be-
everything, man.
They're Rockstar gamers. They're equal opportunists.
Yeah.
You can
There
say
you
that
go.
much.
Thanks,
What-
Rockstar.
Equal opportunity stereotypical
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
We're
See,
like,
it's
you're gonna get some. You're gonna get
I was
some.
mad. I was mad that year when GTA 5 came out because The Last of
2013.
Us 2013 Last of Us came out. I thought Last of Us was such a superior game to that. I even liked it. I used to get annoyed that GTA 5 was in the running against that game because I don't even think the two games are
The
close.
things I did online in GTA 5, man.
That's what people say. It's like, oh, the things I did in GTA 5.
My
that I wanted.
KD ratio, what, man? I was murking people for hours on that.
If anybody
Before
heard
I
him say
started-
that,
before I became a
just
working
walk past
man.
anybody, yo, dude's a
You
killer.
good, bro?
They
Yeah.
wouldn't know. They'd be like, he's a killer.
Yo, but this is 19,
Here,
20 years
here,
old.
why-
Could we even put this on the podcast, or should we edit this part out?
Why?
No, you
It's a
can put it
video
out.
game, right?
You're talking about a video game.
What do you mean? It's a rated M?
You're not self-incriminating yourself.
No.
Unless you got some bodies.
Oh, yeah,
you
let's
got some
go.
bodies somewhere.
Nah, I'm boring. I don't go outside.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a
It's a
lie.
lie.
man.
That makes
It's a
sense.
lie.
Anyway, that wraps it up. As we always end on some ridiculous.
Yeah, wraps it up. Have too much fun.
You spend a lot of time talking about invisibility.
Yeah, man.
I would love to be invisible, man.
Oh, yes,
That's
you
a
know.
fight.
You can get out of a lot of
Yo,
things with that.
whoever's watching this, watching us on YouTube, comment down below and flying or invisibility. What would you rather?
Yeah, we want to know. We'll put it up on Instagram too. Poll: flying or being invisible. Honestly, out of all this stuff, I would take teleportation. That is
Me
what
too.
I want.
That wasn't
the
a question
but you
because
didn't
that's
offer it
a
as an
universal.
option.
Teleportation
Yeah.
is
No.
exactly
Like
what
Apple.
I need in life. If I could
Yeah.
teleport out of a situation, I'd teleport right now if I
Time
could.
travel?
I'm not crazy. Just,
Okay.
Nah.
Look,
Oh, okay.
I'm,
No,
I'm
no, no,
black.
never mind. I know
I'm
where-
black.
I know where
There
you're
are
going.
places, there
I
are
know where
time,
you're going.
there
I
are
know where
periods
you're
of time
going.
I have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
interest. Like, where's somebody going to time travel when
Never
they're
mind.
black?
Never mind.
Where do you want to go?
Never mind. Never mind.
I know it's Black
Never
History
mind.
Month.
Never mind. Never mind. I knew what I got into as soon as I said
That's
that.
the quote of
Yo,
the podcast.
Yeah.
glad you know.
Where is somebody gonna time travel when
Like,
they're
where
black?
has it ever
Yeah.
been
You
good for
better
black
cut
people?
this clip.
Where
Yeah.
is it?
I
No, I'm
shouldn't
serious.
have
Where
said
has it been
anything.
good for black people? Oh, I'm a time
not-
traveler.
I'm not
when?
gonna even say anything.
I didn't even want time travel yesterday. No,
What if you could time travel forward to when you
Future.
could finally watch Black Panther?
I'm cool with waiting the 15 days for Black Panther, which I'm not gonna be able to see it on the day of. I had to move my tickets back because we have a production to do, so I'm not gonna be able to go see it that day. So I will see it on President's Day.
Backpack.
Yeah, I'm glad, Matt. I'm glad you were aware that
Yeah,
there was no time.
Yeah. So time travel wouldn't be his answer then. It would be teleportation.
Teleportation over time travel.
I would love to be able to stop time.
See, I take teleport. That's not a choice, but I take
I know,
teleportation
but I know.
because teleportation is both invisible and
No,
flying.
but yeah, but that's why you don't say it because that's the obvious
That's what I'm
choice.
saying.
Teleportation is
Yeah,
much better
and
than
time
flying
travel
or
is-
invisible.
throw
I'm
that in
taking
the trash.
invisibility just
Time-
because, like,
time-
yo,
We'll throw that in the trash.
Listen, if
You
they-
could-
I guarantee you, if they made time travel tomorrow, ain't no minorities doing that.
Nah,
we have
no
no
way.
interest in that.
No.
no. Whatsoever.
On that
no.
note,
But
let's wrap this
invisibility,
up.
yeah. I mean, you could leave your house like naked and just be invisible.
No,
if
that's
you
not
want
fun, man.
Wow.
Yo, say I
I
walked
don't,
outside.
I don't feel like putting anything
Okay,
on.
okay,
Do you
but
still
say you walked outside
if
this
you
morning.
outside and it's 0 degrees and you're invisible, are you still cold?
Yes.
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 Shrinkage.
Yes.
Hashtag shrinkage.
Yes. You're not going to stop feeling the elements because you're invisible.
Yeah, man.
I'm still taking.
I don't think you.
invisibility.
Do you want to walk barefoot, invisible on the subway?
No,
Exactly.
I don't like.
Hashtag flying. On that note, wrap it
Or
up,
you can
Dex.
just hover. All right, so Matt,
Tell us what-
Matt is going.
I can't tell you what to do.
We'll have
Utah
to.
Jazz jersey.
We'll have to continue this. Matt has been enlightening because of a Utah Jazz jersey, even though he doesn't realize that there's no reason black people would want to time travel. If you want to time travel, you can go back and listen to this podcast once again.
And all our other
a good form
podcasts.
of all our other podcasts. That's the best
That's
time
right.
traveling.
Spencer Dinwiddie, Howard
can
Beck,
do.
Robin Lundberg,
Ian Begley.
us, Ian Begley,
Begley, Princess Streeter,
Amber Kuntz,
Erica Fernandez, tons of great guests
Kenny
that we had on here.
Ducey,
Kenny
Nick
Ducey.
Medalinos.
Yes.
Now we said too many names, so if,
Too many names.
if we forget anybody, then
We're
they're
sorry
gonna,
if
they're
we-
going to be
we're
pissed.
sorry if we forgot
David
about
Diamante.
Yeah, there we go.
We're
I was
sorry.
figuring I was listening to someone.
Dave's going to be like, no more boxing events. You can go back and do it. We want to thank everybody. Continue to support the content that we have. Sideline stories. Let people know Sports Walk Season 2 is coming out soon. We'll have more updates on that. So continue to support us. Follow us on Twitter. And don't forget about the contest. There are 19 more days at the time of recording this podcast with a contest left for your chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. But check that out. So want to time travel? Do all the stuff you got to do when you time travel. We'll be back in the future on the A Hard to Tell podcast.
Good luck, Spencer. You beat Dexter's